perception of any business if needed and can also increase visibility within the industry, helping you attract partners that can expand your business. Indirectly, advertising helps you grow word of mouth referrals. The more new customers you gain through advertising, the more word of mouth those customers in turn will share with others. Many thanks for joining us today on TVN Business Daily. I am Chinwendu. This is Yago, and today we shall be discussing on growing your business with advertising regardless of economic turmoil. Before we go with that discussion, let's look at what is happening in the business world. Transaction on the floor of the Nigerian equity market on Monday extended losses as buyers tightened their grip on the local bourse. The market bright also closed positive and recorded 12 gainers against 13 losers. Consequently, the all share index dipped 425.24 basic points or 0.07% to close at 24,269.58 index points against 24,287.66 recorded in the previous trading section. The market capitalization of equities depreciated by 9 billion naira from 12.66 trillion naira last Friday to 12.67 trillion naira as market sentiment remained on the negative territory. Further analysis of the day's trading showed that in percentage term, GSK PLC topped the day's gainer table with 9.47% to close at 5.20 naira per share, while Fitsin Healthcare PLC followed with 9.43% to close at 2 naira 90 kobo per share. The Central Bank of Nigeria on Monday retained the country's benchmark interest rate or monetary policy rate at 12.5%. It also held all other monetary policy parameters constant as the bank stated that its intervention in the economy were yielding positive results. The Governor of Central Bank of Nigeria, Godwin Emefiele, said the retention of the MPR at 12.5% was the decision of the Monetary Policy Committee at its Monday. Emefiele said the committee also noted that increasing NPR at the current stage of the economy would be counterintuitive and would result in upward pressure on market rate and cost of production. The federal government moved to unify multiple exchange rates in the country will attract over $25 billion to diaspora remittances, according to currency exchange operators. The Ministry of Finance and International Planning, Zino Ahmed, had recently hinted of the federal government plans to unify the multiple exchange rates to generate more local currency from its dollar inflows and further achieve naira stability. However, as the market awaits the Central Bank of Nigeria to totally lift the partial ban on the foreign exchange sales, the naira exchanged for 461 to the dollar at the parallel market and at 386 at the investors and exporters window on Monday. The President Association of Bill the Change Operators of Nigeria, Alhaji Aminu Wabade, said, while outlining the benefits of the unification, said it will attract over $25 billion diaspora remittances, lead to increased liquidity, and discourage speculation and hoarding. And that's the business update on television Nigerian. I am Chinwendu Sisiago. Let's take a quick break. We'll be back. Thanks for staying with us, and if you're just joining us, it's TVN Business Daily. Like I said earlier, we shall be discussing on growing your business with advertising regardless of economic downturn. My guest is in the studio to expose more. He is a brand and customer acquisition specialist and the senior ambassador at Emmanuel Paris. You're welcome, Mr. Emmanuel Paris.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, it's good to have you today. And you look good.
Thank you.
Okay, so why should people really advertise their business?
I believe that advertising is very important in every business because it helps to deal with obscurity. The truth is, if you do business, no matter how fantastic what you do is, if people do not know that you exist, then what's the point? So people need to know. The thing is that we're not landlords. Let me put it that way. We pay rent. Okay. We as advertisers, as business people, advertising is the way you pay rent to renew that rent in the minds of the buying public. So at every point in time, you have to keep reminding them of the fact that you exist. You have to be visible. You have to get attention. So it's very, very important that people advertise, so that, because you can't be complaining that, oh, you're not making sales, or it's because of the economy and all of those things, and then you're actually not doing anything about it. So this is the time that I believe that people need to go out there, be more visible, be more particular about getting attention, and I believe that your business will grow that way.
Okay, so what's the best means of advertising, as you've said?
Best means of advertising. There is no one size fits all. Some people, depending on the business you run and where your target audience is, because you don't create traffic, right? They already exist. They are currently congregated somewhere. So the people you're trying to reach are already somewhere, maybe in groups, in forums, online, offline. Some of them are people that watch TV, that read newspaper. You need to find out where they are and then meet them there. Okay, go there, advertise. If they are certain demographics, old people and stuff like that, maybe they read newspapers or something, you need to be there. If they are the young people that are on Snapchat, Instagram and stuff, you need to be there. Wherever your audience is, that is where you should be. That is where you should be getting them from. You should go meet them there and then serve them with what you have to offer.
Okay, thank you. So how can businesses create winning advertising campaigns?
Okay, so this is a very long talk, but let me just break it down into a few major points. I think first thing I would say here is that people need to understand how to craft their message properly, especially when you want to attract the right kind of people. One, polarity. A lot of people try to be very politically correct and very sensitive in the way they do things. Yes, sensitivity is good, but you need to understand that the more repulsive you are to the people that you are not trying to reach, the more magnetic you will be to the people you are trying to reach. Okay, and you need to also deal with confusion, because a confused mind will always say no. So clarity in your messaging is very important. When you're selling, basically, you have to have this at the back of your mind, that people are only looking for three things, basically. Health, wealth, and finance. Okay, health, wealth, and relationships, rather. So if you're crafting your message, how can you connect it to one of these things as a pain point? For instance, you do makeup, and somebody's going for a party and says, please do my face beat, as you call it. And then the person is negotiating pricing with you and trying to cut down and all that. And one of the ways you can show value is to change the conversation to something else. Say, okay, where you're going to, what are you going to be doing there? Who are the kind of people you're going to meet? Maybe she will meet her ex there or something, and she wants to make him know that, no, God has not left me, that kind of thing. So you have to be able to use your communications to touch that pain point, okay, and communicate with them in a language that they understand and resonates with them, such that you can attract them. So I think that's will help.
Okay, a lot of people get scared of advertising because of the price. Do you think the price should actually stop people from advertising their products or whatever they sell?
No, pricing should not be the case, because if what you do is very, very valuable, I think you should be able to, of course, everything should be subject to negotiations, but you should be able to advertise as long as you know that the people that you are trying to reach are on that platform. Okay, then you should go ahead and do that. But you should also know the maths. Okay, you should know if that campaign will be something that will give you a good ROI, a return on your investment. Because whatever you put in, I mean, if you could do, say, put in $1 and get $1 out, then you can keep doing that over and over again. So you need to know what works. Okay, you need to understand the economics of your business, and that will help you, put things in proper perspective.
Thank you. The importance of advertising cannot be overemphasized. Can you just expatiate more of the importance of advertising business, related to business people who are out there looking for means to advertise their business?
Okay, so if you're going to grow, you need to understand that business is war. Okay, people that do business have to be sensitive to the fact that there are lots of mouths dependent on you. You know, especially if you run a business where you employ people. Of course, you should have staff. You know, there are people that you have to tend to. Your family is there. You know, sometimes you want to give back to society and all of those things. So it's very important that your business grows, and advertising is one key way for your business to grow. So you cannot play down on that and say, oh, let me just take it easy and everything. No, because one of the best things you can do for the poor is not to be one of them. So if you can help grow your business properly, the more your business can grow, the more you can help people. So don't look at it as, oh, being a capitalist, or just so people don't say you're hungry and so greedy for money. Go for it as much as you can. You know, why would you get to a point and start regretting and wishing, oh, I wish I did this, I wish I did that? Because when you ask some of these people in their dying beds, they start to go back and start wishing that they actually did certain things that they didn't do. But you really don't want to be in that position. You want to get to that point in your life and know that you've exhausted all your options. You've tried everything you could possibly do, you know. And I believe that when it comes to your business, when it comes to the business of what you do, selling, marketing, and advertising are very, very important parts. There are things you shouldn't play down on, and you should prioritize them.
Okay, all right, thank you. You know, in everything, there are always disadvantages of a particular thing. Can you highlight disadvantages of advertising products so that at least people can be aware?
Okay, so when it comes to the disadvantages of advertising, I wouldn't say advertising in itself has its disadvantage. Okay. I would say the way you present the advertising is what could give you a disadvantage. So if you are not communicating in the language that your audience understands, then you might be losing them along the line. You know, you maybe there is a way you want to speak to people from a particular place, for instance, and there's a way they speak. You want to speak to the British, the Americans and stuff. You need to understand the language. Okay, you're in a particular industry and you want to speak to professionals. There's a language of the industry that you need to speak in. You know, people shouldn't be trying to figure you out. I'm not saying you should start to use certain jargons when you speak. But when you understand the kind of people that you're speaking to, then it's easy for you to tailor the message to meet them where they are, you know, to be able to connect with them and create that rapport, that feeling, that point where they feel understood and they feel like, oh, this person really feels what I feel, and this person actually has a solution to what I bring. So the disadvantage doesn't come from advertising as a whole. It comes from the way you present advertising to the people that you're reaching. It's either your message is wrong and you're presenting a wrong message to a right audience, or you're presenting a right message to a wrong audience sometimes. So you have to create that balance, that relevance, where you're presenting the right message and you're putting it right in front of the right audience.
All right, thank you. So I try to say that the advantages are more than the disadvantages.
Yes. By all means, the advantages far outweigh the disadvantage.
Before we go on a quick break, let's talk about this COVID-19 pandemic that affected businesses. How can you advise businesses, to call down prices of their products and services?
When it comes to the price of your product or service, I wouldn't really suggest cutting down on pricing. What I'll say is that you need to increase the value of what you deliver. The truth is that there's no shortage of money. People think, because of the economic downturn and everything, that maybe there's no money. Money will not suddenly just disappear. Okay. In fact, as it is now, governments and banks and all of that are pushing money into the economy. They are printing more money and everything. So right now, the problem might be that people are not exactly spending so much. They are maybe holding on to what they have. But if what you sell is actually very valuable, then I don't think you should, except once in a while when you decide to do maybe certain bonuses or giveaways and stuff like that. But if what you do, the perceived value of what you sell far outweighs the amount you are asking for, then that's a no-brainer offer. So people can easily just say, okay, I think this makes sense. If it in one way helps them improve their lifestyle, helps them, creates a status for them, So one of the things that the research, the science tells us is that pricing actually determines the perception of value. So sometimes the higher the price, the more people see that thing as valuable, and people want to associate with it because it gives them this kind of class. And so you need to understand what you sell. You need to understand how to present it properly, and then properly price it. I know there are certain products that are overpriced, and you need to work on that. But if you understand that what you are offering is very, very valuable compared to the price you are asking, then by all means, sell at that price, because you really don't want to get into that pricing war where you're reducing your price and everything. One thing that does for businesses basically is that it commoditizes the business. So you just become a commodity, and what you want to build is a brand, not just a commodity. So you don't want to get into that space where you begin to fight that war, because the next person coming to compete with you says, okay, this person has reduced by maybe 10%, let me reduce by 15%, and it keeps going on and on and on like that till you find out that your margins are very thin, or you're not profitable, or you have to close shop and all of that. So it's very, very important that you pay attention to these things when you evaluate your pricing and all that, and you think it's actually overpriced, then you can cut down. But if you understand that the value outweighs the price you are asking for, then push it, but push it with proper communications. And if you don't know how, then find somebody that can, create that campaign for you. And
all right, thank you so much. Okay, let's go on a quick break then, and when we're back, we'll continue from where we stopped. Stay with us.
My name is Chiwendu Osisiago, presenter Television Nigerian Business Daily. In a globalizing world, ours is to keep you engaged, informed, and educated on contemporary happenings in the business world. We therefore command a special audience of business-minded viewers who are eager to know more about business. I mean, your business. Why don't you take advantage of our special affordable offer to let the world know about your concepts, your goods, and of course, your services? You can call us on 080-3071-6959 or 070-3234-9054. You can also visit us at Television Nigerian in Guzapi, Abuja, and follow us on all the social media handles on Facebook, YouTube, and of course on Twitter at Television Nigerian. Your business is our concern.
Thanks for staying with us again, and if you just joined us, it's still TV and Business, and we'll be discussing on growing your business with advertising regardless of economic downturn. My guest is in the studio who has been discussing with that. He is the brand and customer acquisition specialist and senior ambassador at Emmanuel Paris, Mr. Emmanuel Paris. Okay, my next question is that a lot of people believe that they don't believe in advertising because they feel that their business is over 20 years and they feel that they have a lot of customers already. So what can you say in that?
There are situations where people think, I have enough customers and all of that. And usually when you check that, it boils down to the fact that they have enough that they can handle.
Okay.
So sometimes people don't, because there's this issue where sometimes you advertise and then you have so much customers that you cannot adequately serve them or service them properly with your product or service. And so some people prefer to just have just enough to be able to sell to or to do business with, so that such that it's not so small that they are out of business, but it's still not so much that they cannot handle. And that still comes down to the systems or the structure that you put in place in the business. So if you don't have enough machines, you don't have enough staff, you don't have enough systems like sales funnels online and all of that to do these things, then you have that issue of not being able to satisfy everybody. But when you put these things in place, there's really no limit to what you can do. So you can keep advertising, keep acquiring more customers, and there are people that have sold products to well over 200 million people. So when I hear people say, oh, I don't want to do that, I don't want to do this, then I'm wondering, somebody like Dangote, will he come out today and say, I have enough customers, so I don't need more, So it just depends on people's preference, and it goes back to the fact that most people would just rather stay at the sport, stay small. And the danger of that is if you're not constantly growing, you're dying. And somebody else can come up, take up the market and everything. Those people you think are your customers, if you really check it, there is something called the lifetime value of a customer. Some of these customers that you think are there with you, not all of them will be there forever. There are some customers that will stay maybe 3 years, some 5 years and all that. So along the line, some will be dropping off. So what do you do to replace those customers, So advertising goes a long way. And sometimes they say, oh, they are not advertising, but they also use other means of advertising like word of mouth. Okay, so some of these people that they've already gotten are telling others about it. That's a form of advertising too. So in one way or the other, everybody is still involved as long as your business is doing well. Because if you're not making sales, then you're out of business. So one way or the other, everybody is doing one form of advertising or the other. They might not necessarily be putting in so much money into, creating campaigns that can draw in large amounts of people at once. But for the business to keep running sustainably over time, then there is a way or a system that they use to acquire customers.
All right, thank you. So how can this business owner actually identify target audience?
Just know where they are. Okay. Know the target. For instance, when you're creating products, especially if to advise or consult for a business that is about to start, I usually ask them to find the people first before you create the product for those people. Okay, so what problem do you want to solve? So where are the people that need this problem, that need this solution rather, excuse me, that need the solution? What do they need? What are their preferences? What are their prejudices? What are the things that they connect with? The things that make them tick, the things that make the ideas that help them rally around something, and you now create a product or a service that can service them properly. So you need to be able to do your own research. There are different methods of research right now, depending on the phase. I can't go into all of that now, but depending on what you're doing, there is a way to find where your people are. And then you create a product and serve it to them there. Okay, because now people are very particular about things like comfort and convenience. Okay, say this whole COVID thing, for instance, the way people have been buying things online has skyrocketed. So people prefer to be in their houses, stay safe, and things are delivered to them. Okay, so if, for instance, you sell something on maybe something on makeup or whatever, you go on Instagram, there are Instagram influencers you can chat up, for very small amounts, you can put up your products there. You just need to know that this place I'm advertising has a large percentage of the people that are likely to buy. what I have to sell. Yeah.
All right, thank you. So before we conclude, how can business position their products in a way that it can sell profitably?
One of the things that I'll say you do is give value first up front. Okay, and by value I mean something that is good but incomplete. Okay, people say, why incomplete? Okay, is that not some kind of manipulation or something? But the truth is, you're in business and you need to make money, right? So if you give something, if you show value first, there's this law of reciprocity that people are likely to give you back when you give to them first. So you give them something, you sell, say suits for instance, and maybe you give out cufflinks for free. You sell whatever it is you sell. You see some makeup brands, they give out this makeup brush for free, right? So if you give something first, people are more likely, but some people say, oh, it eats into the margin of the business and all that. If you do this calculation properly, okay, if you know how you source your products directly from manufacturers and all of those things, or if you even make it and it's cost effective for you, then you will know how to do it in such a way that is profitable for you. You need to understand the economics of your business. Then create an irresistible offer. So if everybody is selling the same thing, right? You have, say, 10 competitors, right? What are the things you can add to your own product or service? What are the things you can add to say, this is what we sell, but alongside this thing, you get this, and you get this. What are the things you can add that your competitors are not currently doing that can help you position your business as something that is of very high value? Some of these things are things that you don't necessarily have to spend so much to add. Okay, maybe it could be an information product, just a book or a guide or something. You sell a weight loss kit, for instance. How about doing a challenge or doing a simple 30-day diet plan that comes along with it? What are the things you could do? Just think about it. What are the things you could add that will make that your product a no-brainer, like so irresistible that they just have to buy from you and not anybody else? Okay, so you'll be surprised that when you start to add these things, even people that have bought from you before will come back again to buy from you that same thing because of the things you are adding. Okay, so it's very key that when talking about profitability, that people begin to pay attention to these little things, these little tweaks, and it will help them grow.
All right, thank you so much. So what's your final thoughts?
I'd say that I realize that a lot of people are very scared when it comes to sales, marketing, or things like advertising and all that. But I'll say that you need to go out there. You need to get visible. You need to get attention. You don't necessarily have to be the face of the business. You don't have to be right in front of everything. But you need to be out there. Your product, if you believe that what you're doing is valuable and it's helping lives, okay, then it's unethical for you not to go out there and advertise. It's unethical. See it as doing humanity a service by giving them value. Okay, so don't feel bad. Selling is not a bad thing, because a lot of people feel that, I don't want to sell. I don't want to push too much so it doesn't look like, I'm too salesy. But if what you're doing is really valuable, then I believe that it's unethical for you not to present it to the world. If what you're doing is helping people, it's not good that you are not out there being visible, helping people and changing lives. So go out there and change lives with what you do, and I'm sure that the world will be grateful.
All right, thank you so much, Mr. Emmanuel Perez, for coming on TV and Business. As you have said, advertising is very important for businesses in order for them to grow their business. Without advertisement, businesses might not be known to the public. And that's too much we have for you today on TV and Business Daily. I am Chiwende Osisiago. And don't forget that you can follow us on all our social media platforms, on Facebook, on YouTube, and of course on Twitter at Television Nigerian. Do have a wonderful day. Bye.